Okay.
Yeah, and I can't emphasize enough that if you're going to do this for the first time, team up with somebody, team up with somebody that's done this a lot of times. I say a lot of times, 10 times plus recently. Because remember, as I keep saying, laws keep changing. Codes keep changing. Somebody that built 30 homes 30 years ago ain't the same now. It's a very,
Makes sense.
and they get really frustrated because I built this thing, no problem 10 years ago. Why it's different now?
Yeah.
That's why you got to stay in tune. So team up with somebody that's done this before.
Well, so tell me some of the practices and lessons learned, and more importantly, like what are some of the pitfalls to avoid?
Well, I'm going to touch up on that. You're just kind of rolling also into like, it's almost an extension of the ground up construction because it comes to decision time. Like, do I take a building that is already there? Do I demo it, raise it to the ground and start over? So you got to take into the consideration the feasibility, the ups and downs of, do I take a higher risk? There's always a higher risk when you're doing ground up construction.
Right.
There's some advantages to work with a building or a house that's already there and you're not tearing it down. So those are the things that Sergio was touching on, is like, you have to really take into consideration the feasibility of everything that you're doing.
Right. So somebody with the life experience understands what Al just said. I'll put it in a different way. Soup, chicken soup, it has ingredients.
Yeah.
You got to understand what those ingredients are to make chicken soup or whatever you're going to cook. So you better understand what these ingredients are to get to your final point.
Right.
Does that make sense a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
He sounds like Tommy Lasorda there.
Right? So, people just underestimate there's a process and there's a formula, an exact formula almost. City will give it to you. 375 steps.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I mean, I'm exaggerating, but we have that.
Right.
We have communities like, Mount Washington, and that we have to deal with hillside ordinance. And one of my hillside ordinance planning conditions were over 300 steps that I had to do to make sure I get my M factor.
Yeah.
Now, it sounds overwhelming.
It does. It sounds crazy.
But it's not for somebody that's been doing it over and over again.
Right.
It's like salt.
Yeah.
Pepper.
Right.
It's common.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you got to understand the formula.
Yeah, that makes sense.